You spend 20 minutes choosing a Netflix show. But when it comes to quitting your job, you just freeze. Most people think overthinking is easy to spot. They picture someone paralyzed for months over whether to end a relationship or unable to choose between two careers. That's not what this is. This starts smaller. You open a food delivery app. 20 minutes later, you're still scrolling. You rewrite a text message 3 times before sending it. You stand in front of your wardrobe, changing outfits to meet a close friend. None of it feels like a problem. It feels responsible, careful, like someone who takes things seriously. That's exactly why it hides so well. Each small decision feels survivable. The brain gets a quiet reward for the extra thinking, even when nothing meaningful changes. You don't notice the cost until something that actually matters shows up. And then something very different happens. Here's the part most people never connect. The overthinking on small things and the freezing on big things aren't separate problems. They're the same mechanism, running in 2 different modes. Your brain isn't trying to make perfect decisions. It's trying to avoid regret. Those sound similar, but they're completely different goals. Making a good decision means accepting that every option carries uncertainty. Avoiding regret means searching for the option that feels impossible to criticize later. One goal is realistic. The other never ends. That's why overthinking feels productive without actually producing anything. Every comparison creates the illusion of progress. Every extra article feels useful, but puzzles have all the pieces. Life doesn't. And your brain keeps searching for one more piece that will finally make everything obvious. Psychologist Roy Baumeister found in his 1998 research on ego depletion that self-control and repeated decision-making draw from limited mental resources. The more decisions a person makes, even trivial ones, the harder subsequent decisions become. But here's what gets left out. The brain doesn't separate important decisions from trivial ones nearly as well as you'd think. Every comparison costs attention. Every moment of uncertainty leaves a small bill to pay. One bill doesn't matter. Hundreds do. And once that mental account is overdrawn, the brain doesn't gear up for the hard decisions. It shuts down. The first sign this is happening to you, you spend far longer on choices than they deserve. Picture someone buying headphones. They watch 3 comparison videos, read reviews from 6 months ago, compare frequency response graphs they barely understand. 2 hours disappear, choosing between 2 products that would both have worked perfectly fine. The decision feels important because so much thinking has already been invested, not because the difference actually matters. Your brain has learned to confuse effort with importance, and once that habit becomes normal, something else shifts. Small choices stop feeling small. Instead of asking which option is good enough, your brain starts asking which option guarantees I won't regret this later. That question has no satisfying answer, so the search continues. The second sign appears when other people seem to make big decisions faster than you, and you quietly assume they're being reckless. You watch a friend accept a new job after 3 days. Someone books a flight without checking 20 websites. From the outside, it looks impulsive. From the inside, it feels irresponsible. So you keep collecting information. But information has a strange property. Once you have enough to decide, every additional piece becomes less valuable. As psychologist Barry Schwartz documented in The Paradox of Choice, 2004, more options don't increase clarity. They increase the fear of choosing incorrectly. Your brain mistakes more options for more responsibility. The third sign disguises itself as preparation. Imagine you've been thinking about changing careers for almost a year. Bookmarked articles, dozens of videos. You know average salaries, hiring trends, and the experiences of strangers on Reddit. Then someone asks, "So have you applied anywhere?" You pause. Because all that research never became movement. As long as you're learning, you can't fail. The moment you apply, reality replaces imagination. Your brain prefers the familiar discomfort of preparation over the uncertain discomfort of action. Endless planning delays the moment when your identity meets reality. The fourth sign is quieter. The bigger the decision, the smaller your world gets. You stop deciding. Instead, you replay scenarios. You imagine conversations that haven't happened. You mentally live through 10 different futures without taking a single step toward any of them. From the outside, it looks like procrastination. Inside your head, it feels exhausting. Because it is. Your brain is running expensive calculations with incomplete information, trying to predict a future that refuses to be predicted. And the fifth sign is the most uncomfortable one. You've already made the decision. You know what you want to do, but you're still thinking about it. Because once you decide, you have to act. And acting means closing off every other version of your life that's still technically possible. The freeze isn't confusion. It's grief. Grief for the paths you'll lose the moment you commit to one. That's what the overthinking on small things is building toward. A brain so practiced at searching for certainty that it seizes up completely when certainty is genuinely impossible. Here's what that means. Fixing this isn't about becoming more decisive on the small stuff. The small decisions aren't the problem. What matters is recognizing that the freeze on big decisions isn't a failure of your thinking. It's your brain being honest about what's actually at stake and refusing to move until it finds a certainty that doesn't exist. The people who appear decisive aren't seeing the future more clearly than you are. They're simply accepting uncertainty earlier. That single difference changes everything. The question isn't, why can't I decide? It's what am I protecting by not deciding, and whether that thing is worth the cost of standing still. What's one big decision you've been thinking about for longer than you should? Drop it in the comments. No judgment. If this kind of psychology helps you understand yourself better, subscribe. That's the only reason this channel exists.